Hello and welcome to another episode of I Watched This as an Adult Movie Reviews. I am your host, Mikkel Ford. We're going to talk about it. The moment you've been waiting for. It's time to talk about that Black Mermaid. Let's talk about that Black Mermaid that's making everybody so mad. Everybody's so mad about the Black Mermaid. Ooh, why they make the mermaid so black? Why am I sounding like Macho Man Randy Savage all of a sudden? Like, oh yeah, let's talk about the Black Mermaid. Yeah, you dig it. Let's talk about her. But anyway, before we talk about the Little Mermaid, which I came fresh out the theater from seeing, I want to send a thanks to you. Yes, you. I want to send a thanks to you. Thank you for giving my YouTube channel 100 views. I think I'm at 120 views right now. Not 120 views, 120 subscribers. I'm sorry. I'm like, why would I shouldn't be excited about 120 views. I should be excited about 120 views, but I digress. But thank you. I got over 100 subscribers. That's my first goal. Was to get over 100 subscribers to know that anybody even cares about this. But I'm not shitting on my podcast people, cause like they always show up and show out. The recording of this podcast, it was like the people that have listened to the podcast for the past 3 years, like you guys are the MVP. You show up, you show out, It was like much appreciation to you guys too. But for my YouTube people, thank you. Thank you for showing up, subscribing, seeing what you like. Thank you for the views on the videos. I got a video that's like over 6,000 views now. Thank you. Thank you. And I got another one that's at like a over 1,000. Like, thank you so much. I never knew anybody cared. Thank you for caring. But yeah, thank you. It means a lot. The next goal is 10K subscribers. That is the next goal. If you guys could give me the 10K subscribers, if I could talk, if I could talk right, if you guys could get me the 10K subscribers, that'd be much appreciated. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you know somebody that likes movie reviews, tell them to subscribe. Like, it gets me further up in the algorithm so people can see me. And so I could reach that goal of 10K views. So thank you so much. And don't forget to comment. Tell me what you think about the video. Tell me what you think about the video. Tell me your thoughts on the Little Mermaid. If you've seen the Little Mermaid, tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm out of line for my views, because if you don't know the podcast, I can get a little controversial. So we're gonna see if I step out of line. If you like the movie, you like the movie. If you don't, you don't. Just let me know. Let me know what you think of the movie. But let's get into this movie, The Little Mermaid, shall we? First of all, I hate going to kids' movies, by the way. I hate going to kids' movies. They're like the worst theater experiences for me because it's a lot of loud kids. Because like so far this year, the two worst movie experiences for me and the two worst theater experiences for me have been the Super Mario Brothers movie, even though I love that movie. That movie's amazing. And this movie, The Little Mermaid. Like, it's just like the kids. I understand the kids, which I'm gonna talk about that in a moment. Like the kids are excited and stuff like that. But it's mostly the parents, man. If you show up, I'm talking to you, parents. You're going to go see a movie. Okay? You're going to go see a movie. Know where your seat is. Please. Please know where your seat is. You got a whole bunch of kids ripping and running around. There were a bunch of kids that were ripping and running around, and I just wanted to tell them to sit the fuck down. But you know how it is. People get dealt with in situations like that. talking to somebody else's kid. But but you're going to the theater, all right? Everybody knows that theaters have assigned seating now. Like, you get your ticket, you know where you're going to be sitting. First of all, get to the movie early. Second of all, know your seating arrangement. And then sit down and watch the movie. That is my PSA. Thank you. Now we can get into the movie. Okay. Now we can get into the movie. First thing I want to talk about with this movie is, like, The Little Mermaid was, like, never my favorite of the Disney Renaissance films. Like, I was more into Beauty and the Beast. I was more into Aladdin and Lion King. There's even, like, movies afterwards I wasn't really all into, like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Pocahontas. With Pocahontas, wasn't into that. I'm looking forward to that one. They're going to make a live action Pocahontas. No doubt about it, they're gonna make a live action version of Pocahontas. Hunchback of Notre Dame, that's another one they're gonna do. They could do Hercules. Hercules might be fun. Hercules might be fun live action. I ain't gonna shit on Hercules. Hercules might be good live action, because you could just do, like, Hercules, the legendary journeys or some shit like that. You could do that. But yeah, like, a lot of those movies further down is like, I wasn't into those mainly because I grew out of the Disney films. But I have to say, like, yeah, the three for me were Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. Those are my three. And when it comes to Little Mermaid, I don't really remember a lot of the Little Mermaid, so, like, I can't really complain. I haven't seen the original movie since I was like 7 years old, and I think I saw it in my second grade class. Like, that was the last time I saw the Little Mermaid. It's like, it's nothing that is not something that I voluntarily watch. I'm like, oh, let's watch the Little Mermaid. It's not something that I voluntarily watch. So, like I said, I can't really complain about the movie itself. I can only judge what is put in front of me. That's all I can do. And what I saw was a very middle of the road movie. It wasn't the worst of the Disney live action remakes. Like, Lion King is still number one. That is still a piece of shit, that Lion King movie. I'd probably place this one in between Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, because I thought those movies were just okay. Like, they didn't piss me off or anything. Like, I thought those movies were just okay. And that's what I thought about this movie. I thought this movie was just okay. I sat in the theater and I felt nothing about this movie. Like, nothing. I was dead inside. I was just as dead as Flounder's eyes, which I will talk about later. I will get into that, because Flounder, oh boy, what the fuck did they do to Flounder? But anyway, one of the things I was mad about was that goddamn runtime. I was mad about that, because you feel every minute of that 2 hours, which I don't understand why you would make a movie for kids 2 hours anyway. Like, kids don't sit still. I have ADHD. It was hard for me to sit still. I'm 37 years old. Like, it was hard for me to sit still, because my ADHD was kicking in. Like, there was many times where I just wanted to walk out of the theater, because, like, I didn't want to, like, disturb anybody, like, moving around and all that stuff. I was just like, I'm going to sit here and try to get through this movie, but, like, there was many times where I just wanted to walk the fuck out. Like, I did. That's nothing against the movie. That's just me, like, not being able to sit still that long for something that I don't really give a shit about, but so that's just that. But But yeah, man, like this movie shouldn't have been 2 hours. Hour and 50 tops. The original Little Mermaid was probably like an hour and 50, I think. Like there was nothing that they really added to this movie that needed to be 2 hours. There was nothing in this movie that needed to be 2 hours at all. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Black Ariel. Which I had no issue with this girl playing Ariel. I really didn't. I didn't have an issue with this girl from the jump. Like her race wasn't even a factor in this movie, honestly. Like it wasn't a factor. Like it didn't mean anything. Like, and I like Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey is super talented. Like she's serviceable in the role, and her voice is so amazing. She has an amazing singing voice. Her and her sister are the few girls in this industry that actually have like pure voices. Their voices are so pure. They're so skilled with their voices, so like listening to her sing was such a joy. I have to say that about her. Like that's one of the high points of the movie is listening to Halle Bailey sing. Or is it Haley or Halle? I'm probably messing her name up. Is it Halle Bailey? Listening to her sing was like, that was one of the highlights of this movie because her voice is so good. It's so amazing. She should be on Broadway, honestly. She has a very theatrical Broadway voice. I would love to see her in a play. Like that's how good that girl is. That's how good she is. Let's talk about other standouts in this movie. Melissa McCarthy is amazing as Ursula. Like, it's a shame that she isn't in this movie very much because, like, she is the highlight of this movie. She is a highlight, one of the highlights of this movie. Every time she's on screen, it's just like, oh, wow. Every time she's not on screen, it's like, wait, where's Ursula? I want to see Ursula again, like, because she's so good. Melissa McCarthy is a great actress. She's a great actress when, like, she's not directed by her husband. Like, it's funny that she doesn't give great performances in movies that are directed by her husband, but true love, I guess, I guess. Another standout for me, surprisingly, is Aquafina as Scuttle. Like, she even has a song I like in this movie. Like, it's like a highlight song in this movie. So, because there's like 2 highlight songs in this movie for me. It's a Scuttle song and the song that Ariel sings when she first sees Prince Eric. Like when like this is like when she's a human and she can't talk. But like in her head you can hear the song, and then like in her head she's singing the song. That was a great song. I don't know the name of that song, but that was a great song. I like that song, and I like Scuttle's song. Honestly, like those are the 2 songs that stood out to me. I like those 2. And like I know she gets a lot. I know that Aquafina gets a lot of hate because of how she got famous, and she talks like a black girl and she's a cultural appropriator. I never even really thought that Aquafina talked like a black girl. Like, to me, she sounds like a trailer trash mom from South Carolina to me. Like she doesn't sound like a black girl to me. She sounds like a trailer trash white mom that's gonna fix you like a bologna and mayo sandwich. Like that's what she sounds like. Eat your bologna and mayo, precious. It's before it gets cold and you want a Coca-Cola, sweetheart. All right, precious. That's what Aquafina sounds like to me. Like, I like Aquafina. She's cool to me. Like she seems nice. She doesn't seem like a bad person. She doesn't seem like a shitty human being. Like I've never heard anything. I never heard a bad word about Aquafina. She's been famous for like 8 years now. You would have thought that something would have came out by now with the internet and all this stuff. But like she doesn't seem like a shitty person. Like she seems like a cool person. Like she seems like one of those people that you hang out with. You're like, Aquafina cool as shit, man. Like I like her. But like, yeah. Yeah, I got no problem with Aquafina, and she's good as Scuttle. She's like the best part. She's like the other best part of the damn movie to me. But those are the things I liked. And Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem is good as Triton. Still wish it was Terry Crews, but oh well, we can't always get what we want. Speaking of that, as I fumble here, speaking of that, let's get to the elephant in the room, and this is the controversial moment. Let's get controversial for a moment. There are no prominent black men in this movie, like at all. The only prominent black man in this movie is playing a fucking crab, which, like, Daveed Diggs, get your money, bro. Like, I ain't never gonna get in the way of a black man getting his bag. I'm gonna let that brother get his bag. I got no problem with that. But it would have been nice to see a black man do something in this movie other than standing in the background. Like, cause like there were little black boys in that theater with me also. Like, they need some representation as well. Like, every black guy in this movie was just standing there. Like, they were just standing in the back. It was like some of them weren't even in focus. Some of the black guys in this movie that were background extras and stuff weren't even in fucking focus. It was like they were just standing there and in like a silhouette. You could be like, is it? Oh, I could barely see you, brother. Where you been? Which is why, like, how cool would it have been to see Prince Eric be a black man? Like, that would have been cool. Like, and seeing the movie now, they could have made it happen because his mom was black. That's right. Prince Eric's mom was black. A white man with a black Caribbean mother. That no bullshit. That is what happened in this movie. They gave Prince Eric a black mama. Like, so don't tell me that the prince couldn't be black too. Don't tell me that shit. If you could give this white boy a black mama, he could be black too. And he was played by some dude that I don't even know. So you can't be like, oh, there's no young black actor that could pull off being Prince Eric. I'm like, Prince Eric is not a hard job. Like, this guy was boring. Like, the guy that played Prince Eric, he was boring as shit. He had a song. He couldn't sing. Like, he was off key. Singing off key like a motherfucker. But, like, it's just, like, don't tell me that the prince couldn't be black if you gave him a black mother. I'm just saying. I just felt like we were invisible in this movie. Like, black men. I felt like black men and black boys were invisible in this movie. And with, like, black male loneliness and black male self-deletion rates at an all-time high, the last thing we need to be is invisible. It's the last thing we need to be. I'm off my soapbox now. Let's talk about Flounder and his dead eyes now. Let's talk about that shit. They did my boy Flounder dirty, bruh. They did him so dirty. They did a lot of the animals dirty in this movie because Sebastian ain't no different. And Scuttle is just fucking nightmare fuel. Like, the first time I saw Scuttle, I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? I'm like, holy shit. And like, Scuttle is something to be seen, by the way. Scuttle is terrifying. I like Aquafina as Scuttle, but the design of Scuttle is fucking terrifying. They dropped the ball on all the animal designs. Like, those were terrible animal designs. We do get cameos from Paige O'Hara and Sam Wright, who voiced the original Ariel and Sebastian. So being a voiceover nerd, like I recognize them like right away because I've seen them before. So like I kind of popped when I saw them. I saw Sam Wright. I'm like, oh shit, that's Sam Wright. That's the original voice of Sebastian. And then I saw Pedro O'Hara. Like Pedro O'Hara, that's Ariel right there. Nobody else caught that shit, but because like I'm a voiceover nerd and I know all this shit, I caught that right away. I recognized them like right away. But yeah. Overall, this movie is really middle of the road. It's really middle of the road. It most definitely didn't need to be 2 hours. Like, it's a good movie for little girls to see, but like a lot of Disney remakes, it just wasn't needed. They didn't need it. If you could watch the original animated Little Mermaid from 1989, put that on instead. I mean, like if you want to take your kid to go see this, you can. I'm not telling you how to raise your kids, but if you want to do that, you can. But yeah, man, I give this movie a 3 out of 5. It's not a bad movie, but it's not the greatest thing in the world either. But that's it for the review. I'll be back Sunday with my Scary Movie 2 retro review. So until next time, peace.